do you die? Ain't that the age-old question?
No,
Is it? I don't know if anybody's ever asked that question. How do you die?
And I'm dead. There we go. Please tell me, yes, move me to Albion. You got me fucked up when I'm fighting this nigga by myself. Fuck. What do you expect me? Shit. I can barely fight regular bosses by myself. You want me to fight the whole, like, souped up boss? Alone? Comprende?
Hola? See, oh no?
Me amo not the one. I'm out of here.
Como estas?
Vamonos, I would like to go home. Come on. 7 seconds till they take me back to Albion. Got me fucked up. Woo! And I swear to God, I heard the name Albion recently.
The game Albion Online?
Could it have been that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I know I just heard it recently. That boss is something else, man. I guess I gotta get stronger, or maybe I should just start upgrading my mods again.
Maybe you should just get good. Did you ever think of that?
Oh, I am good. I beat the story, bastard.
You know what? Don't fucking talk to me like that. Don't you fucking talk
He
to
did
me
do
like
that.
that.
I was there for it.
You know what? You want? Go suck a chode.
I don't have to.
What if I get a written note requiring that you suck a chode?
I'll have it read by my accountant / person who handles my paperwork, manager, and he'll let me know if it's really official. He'll tell me either, nah, this is some bullshit, or you might want to get a hair tie. And then how do we even go through that process? The logistics of it all. Is there like a lineup? Do I have to find what kind of chode? Do you have to come too? Does the chode have to be approved by you? There's just so much paperwork.
It always blew my mind as a kid that the what are they called? It's Corsair's team in the X-Men comics. What's it called? Cyclops' dad. His team had a member named Chode. The Starjammers. The Starjammers have a member named Chode. He's an alien named Chode. And I was always blown away as a kid. I'm like, how did Marvel get away with having a character named Chode?
I mean, Batman's Robin's named Dick, so like, what's the difference?
Oh, that's different. That's a normal human name. There are people named
It's
Dick.
not. No, it's not.
Maybe that's. I mean, well, no, there's no one named Dick. There's motherfuckers named Richard who go by Dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not normal. Yeah.
But still, it's not like there's nobody named Richard who goes by the nickname Dick. That's not like that doesn't happen. Nobody is named Chode.
I mean, Chode.
It's a world full of mutants.
Maybe that alien was made and designed by Marvel before Chode was penis.
Yeah. Or he
I mean,
like, think of how many times things used gaily for happy until gay became gay.
I feel like
we ruined Chode. Marvel just just missed the meeting.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that character's name? Chode, and then one dude comes in and is like, oh, so I guess you missed the meeting. It's already printed. It's already been approved. Ah, shit.
It happens. Well, so everybody's phones are on silent or vibrate, whatever.
Mine isn't.
Yes.
I just heard it go bloop, bloop, bloop.
That's not good.
I was like, but I ain't got bitches. Who's this?
Let's turn Quincy down slightly. And
you can't turn me down. I'm always turned up.
Oh, I'm happy for you then, Bucko.
I'm all the way turned up.
Alright.
I really need to save that Ninja Turtle video. Oh my god. It brings me so much joy when I run into it. The
Which
one where it's
one?
like, what if the Ninja Turtles were Jamaican?
What?
It's fucking hilarious, dude. Every time I watch it like 15 times in a row.
Oh, I've never
Papa
seen.
Clot Shredder, you want a piece of the cutlass Shredder?
The Roadman, yeah. Alright. Well, everybody Gucci, everybody having a good time.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Quincy, you good over there? Everything situated?
Define good.
Your phone is on vibrate or silent, whatever you so please.
Oh, that is not happening, but we could start.
Okay.
Not happening. That sounds rude. That is going to happen as soon as I get to my phone. Like, that's rude. That's like, hey Quincy, you clocked in? Fuck you. Okay.
I had a moment like that at work today where I'm just naturally sarcastic. And at one
Is it sarcasm or are you just an asshole?
I am kind of just an asshole.
Maybe we'll just put it on Am I the Asshole? Let's let Reddit decide, Derek.
I have a tendency, even with my store manager, to just like blurt out like sarcastic shit. And the district manager came in today, and he's walking and he's like, you know that shouldn't be 5 high, right? That's way too much product. And I'm like, yep, but my night guys can't do their job. And he just kind of looks at me and then he goes, well, we should tell them to stop that. And I go, yeah, that sounds like a them problem. I didn't even realize I was doing it. He just kind of giggles at me and he goes, you are gonna solve that problem, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, yes sir. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. I'm just like, I didn't even realize that I was just like saying shit. And he just like looks at me like.
That sounds like a them problem.
It is strictly a them problem.
The fucking district manager. I'm like, why the fuck did I say that? It wasn't until he like smiled and giggled that I realized I did it, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't. It's fucking wild. Like we do that at work just to fuck around with like each other or something like that. It's like, oh man, we have to hurry up and clean up. It's like, okay. It's like, oh, well, what are we cleaning up for? We got to make it good for like the next shift, day shift. And they're like kicks. And then he gets the box, just kicks on the conveyor belt. Fuck day shift.
Yeah.
Like the shifts be beefing for real.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all.
I have only ran into I've only worked at like one place where like there was actually cohesion between like the shifts, and like they would have like whenever they do like the food things, the food like pizza parties, whatever the fuck they do, they always did it like 30 minutes after first break, and which was 30 minutes before. 30 minutes after first shift, which was 30 minutes before next shift, so that way they could all eat together. I was like, damn, y'all really fuck with each other here.
Y'all are actually okay with each other?
That's crazy. They genuinely care about making sure no messes are left for each other. That's crazy. Like, what job did you come from? We always said, fuck the other shift. No matter what happened, it was always the other shift's fault. That was it. That's working in the warehouse for you, man.
It is.
Unless it's like a graveyard. I feel like the only time that the shifts that beef is like either if there's a morning shift and an afternoon shift. Graveyard, they're their own entity. No one fucks with them. You really gonna fuck with someone who don't get enough sleep? They got nothing left to lose.
Yeah,
That's true.
you're not wrong.
That's entirely true.
Nothing left to lose.
Fucking me on inventory days. I'm like, yeah, y'all want a beef? It's like we offered you a free muffin, Derek. What kind of muffin, motherfucker? It's like,
Wait.
why are you talking to me at 5 a.m? I shouldn't even have been here 2 hours ago. Fuck all of you. Like, all right, we'll leave Derek alone. Yeah, you should have thought of that, motherfucker.
Aggression.
I'm not I don't like fucking inventory days.
Sounds like it.
Actually, that's pretty much the only reason I don't like inventory days is because I have to be up at like fucking 2 or 3 in the morning, depending on the week.
Oh yeah, but fuck that. Like my job that I was working like in the when I went to Jamaica, that job, like
Yeah.
the clock in time was 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Shit.
and it was 45 minutes away from where I lived.
Oh.
So I woke up at 2:30 in the like 2:30 or 2:45 in the morning, 4 days a week, and then people were, and then they're like, oh, some people were like, don't worry, you'll get used to it. But all the people I worked with was like, you never get used to it. Don't worry. You never get used to waking up at like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just we weren't built for that shit.
Let me guess, it was a member of management telling you that you'll get used to it.
Ah, fuck no. My fucking what was my supervisor? My supervisor was like, fuck no, you don't get used to it. He's like, 'cause he was like, you just started. I've been doing this shit for almost a year, and I still am sleeping.
Well, at least he's honest.
It's like we do what we got to do, and we leave. And I'm like, I fuck with the honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty is the best policy.
It is.
Yeah,
Which is why I'm going to be honest and let everybody know that welcome to the Gotcha Gang podcast, the most consistently inconsistent show that we have going on here today. And I'm your host, as always, Edison, and joined yet again by my co-hosts.
Not as always. Not as always.
Are Derek and Quincy. Say hi, friends.
What's up, bitches?
Hey, what's up? This is ridiculous.
Ed is not, as always, the host. Quincy's hosted a couple episodes. I've hosted a couple episodes. As always, my ass. Did you already forget?
He is correct.
Never forget.
They have each hosted some episodes, so my statement was wrong. I apologize. So, what's everybody been up to lately?
So if we do the intro.
This is ridiculous.
What's ridiculous?
Oh, nothing. Like one of my friends, like she got hacked forever ago. You know, Edward. You might remember the name, but Amber. She got hacked forever ago, and like her Instagram, and so like every now and then, because eventually people do get their accounts back. So like every so many months, I'll send like a meme or something. But no, it's still not her. Like I sent her a meme. She's like, "Hey, how you been?" I was like, "Oh, you actually got your account back?" She's like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." And then I was like, "How you been?" It's like, "Oh, I've just joined this accounting firm and I've been making a good amount of money." I was like, "Oh shit, you're still hacked." I was like, "Wait, how? How?" And she's like, "What do you mean hacked?" I was like, "Don't. Why are you acting surprised? We just talked about it." Like, because I have her actual number and I texted her about it. I was like, "We texted about it," and she's like, "No, I'm not actually hacked." Like, you've been asking if I've been hacked. It's like, what we were just talking about. And I was like, fine, I prove it right now. Where was our first date? And she's like, why don't you just fuck off with all these questions? Like, bitch, gotcha. Gotcha, bitch.
That's awesome.
Like, why try so hard? I feel like after I asked the second time, I'd be like, the gig is up. Like,
The gig is up.
Yeah.
like, why the fuck are you trying so hard? It's like, I have an actual number, right? Stop. Just leave it alone.
Stop it. Get some help.
Legitimately.
Yeah, no. Person I knew, they got hacked and everything, but I don't know. I don't really talk to that person anymore. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at that point.
and they try to like send stuff and whatnot, so I test them every now and again. You're like, oh yeah, send this. And I'm like, yeah, it's funny. That's not actually you. So haha.
You got them.
Yeah, it's like what do you expect me to do exactly? Like,
Yeah.
I know, like, do you not read the old messages? Like, why would you come with the same shit every time? Like, oh yeah, you've been cool, and then bada boom, oh yeah, I left like California, and I live in Tucson now, and I joined this business thing, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, that's not true, because like, last time I checked, you just started going back to college to get your degree, and like, it you don't know, man, it just doesn't add up.
Nah, man.
Amber was like another girl I didn't click with. It just, maybe I'm not easy to click with.
No, you're pretty easy to click with. You are very easy to click with.
Let me rephrase. Maybe it's hard for me to click with these people. But
Okay.
Because they come up to me and act like, oh, we're like the bestest, the coolest of people. And I'm like, no, dial it back.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it could just be, some people are like that.
Yeah, some people are. I wouldn't know.
You do, man. You do. You probably still got people like, oh, me and Derek is so cool. And then you'll be like, who are you?
I think
just be like, I don't fuck with them.
I think anybody that really
already.
Yeah, true. There are a couple of people that I did lose touch with. I mean, I naturally lose touch with people, but I also think that if I really wanted to keep up with certain people, I naturally would. I mean, you guys don't live anywhere near me. We don't work together, and I still keep up with you. Not as often as I should, but we do keep up. And then my
Bitch, we talk every week.
No. That's what I mean, though. Like, sometimes I'm not even in the group chat, except when it comes to the podcast.
That's still every week.
I mean, I still feel like I could be around more.
I talk to plenty of people less.
All right, fair enough. I'm like, all right, I don't feel guilty then. Never mind.
Yeah, I talk to plenty of people less. Like me and Chris start talking again. I ain't talked to him for years.
But yeah, there's certain aspects that I just, I don't talk to. I have a very small circle of friends, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Sometimes small circles of friends are nice. Get people that you know that you can hang out with and all that good jazz. And click with, as Quincy says.
Does anybody have anything they want to talk about from that has happened to them this week? Because I got a ton of shit that I've done that I want to talk about.
I bet you do. I don't really have much. I was just going through the regular basis, Has anybody been playing any games that they've been interested in? Any anime or manga they've been, or any sort of media that they've been into, stuff like that. And
first symptoms, I hopped back into Tomb Raider. That was fun. The collection looks cool. I might actually get the collection, as long as they fix the fucking controls. As long as I don't have those weird ass controls.
Yeah. I've recently replayed the originals, so I don't think I will, even with fixed controls. But yeah, you do you.
Well, wait, why? What's wrong with the original Tomb Raiders?
Maybe it's because they weren't my game, but I have no nostalgia for them, and the story and the progression, all kinds of stuff, I just don't really.
Story and progression. Alright, boy. You tell me the story to, like, I don't know, Spyro. I remember loving Spyro. I don't remember the fucking story, though.
The whole point of Spyro is that all of his friends and family have been turned to stone, and he's trying to save them. That's it. That's basically the entire story until you get to the last level, and you beat the bad guy who turned them all. That's about it.
That's so simple. Tomb Raider, you're just mad because
Tomb Raider has fucking cutscenes.
You're mad because it has levels to this shit.
What the fuck? No.
First you find mummies. Next thing you know, you find T-Rexes? What?
Like somebody doesn't like progression.
Right? Come on. Especially, like, wait, didn't she always get other guns? I know the dual pistols are, like, her thing. But I do remember her getting, like, a shotgun. But, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomb Raider's cool. I do have fond memories of it, even though I don't think I've ever beaten any of the old school Tomb Raiders. But I do remember every time I tried replaying them, even back on PlayStation 3 days, I was like, God damn, these controls suck. So with these updated controls, I feel like I'll be able to hop in and truly enjoy Lara Croft. She ain't even got triangle titties anymore. It's amazing.
Yeah, she doesn't have triangle titties.
Yeah, but of course, I think they did say there was like a toggle.
It's kind of too late for that,
regular graphics. Oh yeah. There's also they're doing a remaster to like the Gargoyles video game too.
Yep, I saw that. I think
It
that's
looks
been
good.
announced though.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I don't think I've ever played that game, but you know, I like Gargoyles and it looks good, and I like a good side scroller. So fuck it, let's go. We ball.
We do ball. That'll be
I'm pretty
fun.
sure
Do
it's gonna be
indeed
like
ball.
maybe $25 tops. So
The listing is already up on Steam. I already saw it. I don't remember how much it is, but it's not a lot. I remember
yeah,
thinking that, oh, that's cheap because it's whatever the same price as the Saturday Morning Collection is. The
Ooh,
Tailspin and Ducktales game.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
because
So
I
like
because I
Tailspin, Ducktales, and Aladdin.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, I think those are two different things, but yeah. Because I think the Aladdin one comes with the Lion King game.
Oh, okay. See, I need them to just do that same thing to the X-Men game on the Sega
Oh yeah,
Genesis.
you
I'm
finally
so
heard about
down.
the Tales of Rise DLC coming out.
Oh, well, I mean, they did re-release it and then
It is coming out.
they put it back in the vault.
Yeah, like because it's like this Marvel vote. Like people need to like chill out on like certain games, especially Marvel. Because I was even watching a video of the dude talk about like, oh, Marvel's Avengers about to like be delisted. So if you don't get it now, then chances are after a few years it's gonna be looked upon fondly. Like most games, like what happens with most games is like maybe we were too hard on this game, and then the physical copies will shoot up in price because that's the only way you can play it because it's delisted digitally.
You remember PS2 copies of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being
Those
like
sound like fun.
$120?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's different because was Marvel vs. Capcom ever perceived bad?
No, not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, Marvel vs.
But
Capcom 2 was never perceived bad.
no, in fact, when it came out on PS3, I remember that was such a big deal for fans. Fans were ate that shit up. That game is hard as dicks, by the way. Even if you're good at fighting games, that game is hard as dicks.
It makes sense because
So
you could
everyone in Marvel vs.
pull out some
Capcom 2,
wild ass
how was your game?
combos in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, you can.
My
Marvel
my
vs.
team
Capcom
was
2 is
just
good.
like I don't remember the dude's name. I fuck with this dude so hard, but I don't remember his name. It's that
That
one
sounds like
dude
awesome.
that wears like the all white, and he has like a mech that punches with him sometimes.
I don't know.
I don't remember his name.
Kevin says Jin.
Yeah, there we go. See him. He was a part of my team, and other than that, it was just Wolverine and Spider Man. Because like it's Wolverine and Spider Man.
My team
I mean,
is
I used to do the exact same thing because in the comics, I knew that wasn't going to happen. And back in the 90s, I'm like, they should never team up. But it's like, all right, I'll make them team up.
You sure did, Kevin. That was your game.
Now that I think about it, most Marvel games that I can think of, like they usually either like people like them or it's like mixed and people
They don't
like
know
there's like
about
a
Daniel, man.
select group that
I
people
mean,
really love them. Because like
Dan,
even Rise
he's
of
a
the
guy.
Imperfects, people were like, oh, like reviewers like this game sucks, but people were like, oh, Rise of the Imperfects is actually that's fucking baller, dude. It's a good game.
Oh, the fighting game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the arena one.
Yeah, dude. That game's incredibly underrated.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to know part of the problem, though? That game released, I think, a month early on PSP. That didn't help. It released an amount of time early on PSP. I remember that much.
We did play Rise of
And
the Imperfects
That's
also,
stupid.
Kevin.
people
that on
thought that
GameCube.
it was a PSP game, even though it wasn't. It just can't. It like they had some stupid deal with Sony to make it come out on the PSP before anything else.
I never. Honestly, the funny part about it, I didn't even know it was on the PSP. I played it on the console.
Yeah.
I had it on GameCube.
Yeah, I think I had it on GameCube too. And the thing is about that game is that the reason why we can't do anything with it is because the Imperfects, like the people who weren't Marvel,
Yeah.
those were original ideas from
Yep.
EA or Activision, whoever put out the game. It was original ideas for them. They own all those characters in that game that aren't like the Marvel characters. So
Yeah.
so only they can do it. Only they can like fucking be like, okay, remaster. Only they can greenlight.
And it would require a perfect storm in order to do that,
Oh, so I know I
because
connected
they
my
would.
Star Rail progress on the PC, so now I can play PS5 and PC with the same account. Well, there you go. That's what you're supposed to do. I can't play anything. I can't play Star Rail because the test is over on console, so can't play it. But glad you get to play on PC and you get to enjoy the new character that they have out for the banner.
The Imperfects were okay. The only one I really liked was like the main one that was like the main character with like the Baraka blades, basically.
Yeah, I remember him.
Oh yeah,
Her.
he was. She. Yeah,
That was her.
yeah,
Yeah,
Blink.
I thought it was the dude.
No, it was a
Blink.
chick in a suit. It was
Her
a
name
chick
was
in a
Blink.
suit.
Oh. Shit, I guess I don't remember her then.
Yeah, it was a chick in a suit. She was like the main character because like they took her. I think she's from like they took her from the past or something and threw her in the suit and like she escaped. Like I don't understand why they just make all these badass things always escape. Like Jesus Christ, y'all! Like
That's
do
what
you not
happens. You
lock
make
the door?
No, you don't. And sometimes locking the door doesn't help when they can break through the door.
I don't. I just feel like it's pretty wild. Like, could you imagine just coming in? Like, all right, how's my asset doing? It ran away. What do you mean, Weapon X ran away?
Yeah, I mean, he woke up, he was dripping wet, he was beefy in all
Like-
sense of the
like
word,
dick
and he
out,
broke
everything.
through the fucking door. Gone.
Dick
He
sling
is
and everything, he
5'4". How did he break through the door? We don't. The metal claws, sir.
It's like, all right, okay, we'll try this again. And it's like he comes back to work the next day, and it's like, all right, man, the newest one is so promising. How's she doing? X-23 got out. What the fuck you mean she got out?
I was like, well, she got mad. She started going on a rampage. I don't know. I think somebody triggered her somehow, and she clawed through the door.
I think didn't she get let out?
I mean,
And she
Evolution.
Or is that
I mean, she was-
is that a retcon?
No,
I
I
thought
mean,
in
she was
Evolution she
sent out
broke
to. Well, Evolution, she broke out because she wanted to go see her dad.
Yeah, she wanted to see Logan.
Yeah. But, like, for the most part, it's usually, like, she's sent out to kill Wolverine because she's supposed to be there to kill Wolverine on some Superboy type shit.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Like, they don't think that, like, battle experience matters.
Because they're like, this
Yeah.
one's as strong as you, even though in the sense of Superboy, it's like, bro, sometimes you just don't even have the same powers as Superman. So, like,
It's like, this female version of you that's way younger is going to be stronger than you. What happened? He smacked her up, and now they're friends. What do you mean now they're friends?
like, yeah, he related to her about being alone and everything, and she's basically his daughter. So
So they mob deep together now. You made a weapon to kill him, and you just gave him a daughter that filled the missing hole in his life.
yeah, then they tried to do the exact same
Are
thing
you telling me
again.
we made him emotionally better? Yes.
Yeah, we healed him. Yes, the one thing his healing factor couldn't heal, his heart.
I mean, technically, anything that she did, Kitty and Rogue and Jubilee also already did. It's like
Yeah, but it's even
he's
better
not
because
nearly
they have
as
the
much
same
of a
power.
loner as people think he is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
he is a loner. Like I feel like when I think of like
No.
someone who like stuck around him, because I Wolverine's like, no, it's cool. I like being alone, but I want to come with you. Nah, don't follow me, but I'm gonna leave an easily traceable breadcrumb trail to find me, though. Bro, what are you doing here? So I feel like Rogue was like a soft spot for him, and then like I guess Kitty too, but Jubilee, stay at home. You don't even have like real power.
So I'm
She has a real
mostly
power. She can.
I'm mostly
get
referring to the
arcades.
comics.
Uh,
And like,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's
he's so not a loner. Like every TV show and movie, like they portray him as a loner, but I'm like, he is an emotional. Like at one point, he was literally the leader of the X-Men. Like he's not a loner. He
but most
absolutely
TV
has people behind him.
Most media properties about that is basically kind of from the beginning or before any of that stuff really happens. So it's like it makes sense. And then with the X-23, it's like, yes, he has these people already that have filled the void in his heart, but it
But
hits different when it's somebody that is
went
like
through the
you.
same trauma.
Yeah,
like, 'cause
like
the fucking process of
'cause
putting
like
adamantium
them,
bones is fucking traumatic.
yeah, because like
And
with
then he was
everybody in
more
the
pissed. He
X-Men,
was more pissed he did it to a kid. He was like, they did that to a kid.
yeah, and it's like everybody on the X-Men is like, yes, they all have the shared thing of we're mutants, so we have like people are prejudiced towards us and everything because of how we were born. And it's like, all right, cool. So yes, they have that to bond, but with X-23 and all the other clones from him, it's like we went through the same process, and it's my fault that you had to go through that because if I would have worked out, they never would have tried to make you. So it's
Also, like, if we go by OG, the claws weren't even a mutation. Like when he went to that planet where
Yep.
everyone's mutant powers went away, all happens. He still took his claws out. He just said "ow"
ow,
because he didn't have the regeneration factor.
ow, ouchies.
And unless you go by X-Men
No,
Origins, where the claws are a mutant thing, you know.
well,
I mean,
it's
I
the
like it. I like it
it's the
when
metals that the metal is what Weapon X did. He has healing factor and bone claws. Those are natural, but the metal, no, that's not natural.
Oh yeah, but I always thought because in the way they portrayed it in the OG X-Men in the '80s was that like all he had was a healing factor, and he didn't get claws until he got the adamantium in his system. Because because in all the things like you never see him use claws until he gets metal.
The '90s cartoon may have done that, but continuity wise, it was
It was always that way.
it was always bone claws. He starts with bone claws and then got metal claws. Like they very quickly in his storyline explain that
Kevin
he's
says
been
he's always
experimented on.
had claws.
When you meet him in the comics, because he originally appeared as a Hulk villain fighting Hulk, and he was working for Weapon X at the time, and then everything after that, he's suddenly not working for Weapon X, and they explain this. Actually, I think he's technically part of Department H when that happens, but the way they explain that is, between when he was fighting Hulk and now, he escaped and they made his, they fucked with him. He always had metal claws in the comics, but they explain how he got the metal claws, and that beforehand they were bone claws.
Okay. But like I don't know why they sent him after Hulk, because wasn't there a whole comic where Hulk thunderclapped so hard it like ripped his flesh away from his bones or something?
I mean, probably.
That
And if it does,
that can
then,
happen, but he can still regenerate.
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, bro, he's incapacitated like a motherfucker though. The fight's over. The fight's over.
I mean, they would say that. They would say that, incapacitated. But there's
the
things
Ultimate
like
Universe,
that happens inside of Jujutsu Kaisen manga,
in
Don't
the
over.
in the Ultimate Universe, he literally gets ripped in half and turns into two Wolverines.
Yeah, kinda
Like
what
he
you're saying,
regenerates
Hulk
into
ripped him
two
in half.
dudes. Yeah,
Back in my day, Wolverine's regeneration factor wasn't that wacky. Deadpool's regeneration factor was all that was the difference between Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool was the type of motherfucker where if you cut him in half, he'll become two people. Wolverine was the type of motherfucker if you cut him in half, he was like, and it'd take him forever, or he would actually like they'd say, oh, he can't regenerate from this.
but also Ultimate Wolverine is fairly wacky. It turns out that Magneto isn't. It turns out that Magneto is not the father of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in the Ultimate Universe. It turns out that it was Wolverine the whole time. And then it turns out that Cable isn't a future version. The Ultimate version of Cable isn't a future version of Jean and Cable, or Jean and Cyclops' son. It turns out it's actually Wolverine from the future, even though he looks younger. It's really weird. We don't fucking talk about that shit. Like, everything about Wolverine in the Ultimate Universe is fucking weird. Like, the Ultimate Universe started out so fucking cool and got so fucking bonkers after a while.
Because eventually you raise the bar and shit gets stupid. Like Ultimate Spider-Man was always a cool thing.
I mean, it's not terrible. It gets pretty fucking wacky, but I mean, it has the better version of the Clone Saga. I'll say that much.
The Clone Saga, like Star Wars.
Yeah. No. Spider-Man's Clone Saga, because the Clone Saga in the
Like Ben Riley and the boys.
yes. Don't make me
I
explain
like
the Clone Saga. It
I
takes too
like Ben
long.
Riley and the
I'm
boys.
not.
He'd love to explain the Clone Saga. If he was able to talk about One Piece for a whole episode, he could talk about the Clone Saga.
I could, but because I'm not allowed to talk
I don't
about
know
the One
much.
Piece for an entire episode, I'm not going to talk about comics for an entire episode, which is probably why I need to either shut up or we need to change subjects, because I will be here all day talking about comic books. There's a reason that my name is Comic Stack. Like,
Look, and basically, coming back to the beginning, Marvel games, Avengers isn't that bad of a game. As the same way I'd say that in the Rise of the Imperfects wasn't a bad game. It's just I don't know, critical
Definitely
stuff,
wasn't. It was pretty
like
fun. I enjoyed it.
critical perception, and it really got to the point where I guess modern gamers just love to hate shit. So
that's true.
It is true.
because like
It's because now
we
we're
don't
so
get
connected now.
wacky cool games anymore.
Well, yeah, because like there's
PS2
no
times was
room.
always some crazy ass game that was super cool that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because there's no room for that anymore, because we're so connected through the internet that like a lot of people, they like, you can get a mass wave of people to hate something so much that it just fails. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
the prime example, the Order 1886 is actually a good game, but
We
because
talk
like
about that game so much.
all that press that came out about it, people just fucking shit canned it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like we're in that day and age where it's like a lot of people don't really form their own proper opinions. It's more just so ride whoever they follow. Like,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
and
Yeah,
it doesn't help that they also do that with, that now game journalists, like, though they're out there and people will follow their critique so heavily without trying to look at what was presented to them and forming their own opinion.
like
Um, to bring up to bring up what Ed was saying, a weird example of that was I would see when Chainsaw Man came out last year. There was this weird philosophy, like certain TikTokers would like review, they'd watch it and they'd do a video on it, and all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, this is such a dumb anime, and then all of a sudden I'd see a wave of new people who'd be like, yeah, this is such a dumb anime, and they'd start saying rhetoric that they heard on TikTok, and then another TikToker would say, "Oh no, it's good," and then all of a sudden everybody would sound exactly the same, and it went back and forth quite a bit, and then eventually it was when Gigic made a video, and he said, it's not nearly as bad as everybody was saying. That again, I'm hearing people basically just regurgitating what he is saying, and it's like, but no. Where is your opinion? Like, what do you think of this? Why are you just
TikTok's an
Yeah,
echo chamber.
people don't
Yeah,
have that
like,
anymore.
yeah.
People even do it within smaller circles of just their friends. Like, some people just literally won't even give a game a chance because their friend said that they tried it, quote unquote, and like, trying a game is such a loose term. Like, it has so many like different ways because everybody's version of trying a game is different.
Which is
And
why Steam reviews have time played on them.
yeah, which is nice.
yeah, so it's like some person might say, "Oh, I tried a game, but I didn't like it," and they might have only just like barely done the tutorial and everything. And then it's like, oh, now they say they don't like it. Their friends are like, "Oh, well, so and so said that they tried it and they didn't like it, so I don't know. I trust their opinion." It's like, okay, you can trust their opinion, and that's great and all, but did you actually try it? And I was like, well, no, they said that they tried it and they didn't like it. Okay, how much did they try? I don't know. They just said that they didn't like it. And they said they got pretty far. It's like, okay, but pretty far is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, some people
I
will
mean-
say, like, some people will be like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty far in this. And it's like, oh, well, that's still the beginning. Like, how many hours did you put in? It's like, oh, I've only put in like 2 hours, but I feel like I'm pretty far. It's like, no, you've barely scratched the surface. This is a 100-hour game.
Yeah, like OG Final Fantasy VII OG. It's like, oh, this game is kind of mid. Where you at? I'm still in Midgard, bro. That's tutorial. But I've been playing it for like hours. That's tutorial. Leave Midgard first.
Yeah, so that's why I just like, I look at the game. I usually watch gameplay and everything, and it's like, okay, that seems pretty interesting, and it's like I might try it. Or if it's something that's like, well, it looks cool,
Like,
but not cool enough for me to drop this amount of money to try the game.
like we all know what we like. Just get what you like, and you
Yeah,
can see we get reviews and stuff like that. Just because it doesn't appeal to 90% of people does not make it like a bad game. And I get that that's how game developers have to do things because it costs way more to make games now, and it takes way longer to make games now. So you have to make sure it appeals to like the widest of audience so you can get like your money back.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's just like we like if I there's a game that I like, and I'm like, yo, I like this game, and people could just be like, oh, like me, like I like Forspoken's, like, oh, that game's trash. Like you have trash taste because you like a trash game. It's like it's what makes it trash. It's like these other things, like, well, I mean, the graphics are great, it's competently made. People are like, oh, like because a lot of things I hear like because I remember I saw a reviewer talking about, oh, Diablo, the newest Diablo is trash because like it's riddled with like issues like, oh, I kept getting disconnected, the frame rate sucks, I couldn't match with friends. I played Diablo like on launch and I didn't get a single frame rate dip. I matched
yeah,
with my friends perfectly. Everything was cool and seamless. Like Ed played it too. Like we didn't have any like technical problem with
yeah,
Diablo at all.
yeah. My problem
Yeah.
with like stuff when it comes to forming opinions on like any sort of gaming thing or whatever, or even just stuff in general. I hate it when people will go, "Oh yeah," like they'll start giving their example of something, and then it's like, "Oh well, this didn't happen to me," or this is what happened with that. When it's like, okay, yes, that's you. That didn't happen to you, which is great. I'm glad that that didn't happen to you. But because it didn't happen to you, does not excuse the fact that it was happening to a majority of the other people. And so it's
Oh
like,
yeah, for
Yeah, no, no,
sure,
no,
for
100%.
sure. Like me,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Like, I have played
Oh, Resident
um,
Evil, that
um,
game. Oh
Umbrella
shit.
Core. I've played
Yeah,
Umbrella
immerse yourself.
Core with some buddies. I had a fucking blast playing that game with my friends. That does not mean that it's a good game. It just means that I had a good experience.
Yeah, you
Like,
could have a blast playing hot potato with your friends.
yeah,
You can.
exactly. It depends. It depends on what you're doing and how you're doing. Like everybody's experience can be different, and as everybody else's. Now, you can argue for your opinion all you want. Go ahead, pop off, sis. I don't care. But that does not make you superior. It's just about making sure that your opinion is understood more than anything else. Just at least have your own fucking opinion and just fucking do it. Fucking make it make sense. Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. I think I'm just
Yeah,
rambling.
you're
I'm
right.
sorry.
You should just do it, and that's why this episode's sponsored by Nike.
it's not. At least
It's
I don't
not,
think it
but
is.
yeah.
Is it, Quincy? Did you get an email
It's
from Nike?
not. It's not.
Have we, by the way, have we checked to see if we can post links yet?
I don't know. I haven't checked that.
Okay. Um.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, formulate your own opinions. That's the moral of the story. Even if the game's bad, make that decision for yourself, and don't echo that a game's bad that you haven't like played or you haven't heard from multiple different sources, like the fucking Mortal Kombat port for Switch.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Go on.
So this isn't gonna lead to anything. I'm just genuinely curious. Have either of you guys finally gotten the chance to play Baldur's Gate 3 yet?
Nope.
So
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The game's
Yeah.
only a PS5 game, and crossplay is on the roadmap, but it's not here yet.
right, like they don't even have an estimate for it. That's how
Yeah.
late into production they decided to start doing it. But I've been the main game I've been so I technically have not had a lot of free time this week, but I've done a lot of things regardless. Like it feels like I've had free time even though I really haven't. And one of the main things that I've done is I've been playing the shit out of Hollow Cure. I'm even playing it right now, which I mentioned briefly on another podcast, but I'm having such a fucking fun time with it that I really want to gush about this game.
What is
Do you know what Vampire Survivors is?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Vampire Survivors, but skinned with Hololive members, so VTubers.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yep, but now it sounds familiar. Yep.
But like
VTubers.
the fucking like, I'm not big on difficult games. This game's fucking hard. But I love the progression of just getting the different, trying to set up my base stats so that they're good enough, trying to set up my stats between each level so that I'm going to be prepared for the waves. I'm not big on hard and frustrating games. This game, I love it so fucking much. It's chaotic. It's almost impossible to watch because I never know what the fuck is happening, but I fucking love it. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. 10 out of 10. I love it. It's like one of my favorite games this year. And I have, unfortunately, I think I've come to the realization, unfortunately, that I might finally be out of my Fate phase.
What?
Yeah, I think I'm if I'm not done permanently, I'm done for now.
Dang, and people were looking forward to your Fate content.
Yeah, no, nobody was looking forward to my Fate content. What the fuck are you talking about? Who are you?
Man.
Nope. That's why the VTuber stuff gets views and the fucking Fate content does not.
Well, you have a community now. You can put out the stuff and they'll watch it.
No, they fucking won't.
Right.
I put out
They
my
won't.
vacation video and they didn't watch it.
They won't. It's
but
bad.
there's the summer event came out while I was in California, and when I came back, I never decided to pick it up. It ended either today or yesterday, and I'm just meh. I don't care. I don't even miss the fact that I missed the event. So there's that. Also, there's a new game that actually looks decent coming out in, I think, a week. Or maybe it's this week, and I just don't give a shit. I'm like, I'm sure it's good. It looks solid, and I'm not here for it. So, it's called Fate Samurai Remnant.
Oh yeah, I feel like you were talking about that one too.
I was very excited for it because it looks good. To be fair, even though I'm not going to get it right now, it does look good. But it's whatever. I'm just sitting here editing videos most days and making content. By the way, everybody in this room has officially been in a video that has more than 1,000 views. So congrats to all three of us.
Yippee.
You guys, thank you both for your help on those videos. For the record,
talked about titties.
Yeah,
I yelled at people cooking.
It's you. That's my fastest growing video though. So, thank you.
I just told people that bitches were temporary and cheese was forever.
Yeah, and people fucking ate that shit up. People,
he was spitting though. He was in his bag.
I was in my bag when I made that tweet.
I also finally finished the live action One Piece.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good. How much do you want to talk about it? A little bit.
I don't mind because I finished it, but I don't know. I don't think Ed finished. He watched some, but I didn't finish it. I don't think he finished it. Me and Carter were talking about it before. He was talking about how damn, who's the leader of the fish people again?
Arlong.
Yeah, Arlong. He's like Arlong's just a nigga, and I'm like, he is 100%, 100%, like 100% is.
I can give my thoughts without spoiling anything because my thoughts are very spoiler free.
I mean, I don't care about it, so.
I mean, I don't really have anything to spoil.
I mean, it's One Piece.
My
I know a lot more about One Piece than like anything that the live action has covered. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and they even go to the Grand Line. So like, yeah,
They go. I mean, they do some stuff from really late in the story in this series, to and including revealing Garp as his grandfather. I was
yeah.
actually kind of blown away that they did that in like episode 4. I'm like, oh shit,
I was
we had to wait
surprised.
until
I
Eddie's
was
lobby for this shit.
I wasn't even there yet. When my One Piece watching, I was like, oh, maybe they just added that in. And I saw the comments on videos. I was like, damn, they really did it. I was like, oh shit, that's really his grandpa canonically. That's crazy.
Yep.
that's really him for real.
But one of my I really dig it. I do have a couple of gripes. One, I'm not a big fan. I felt like the special effects were inconsistent. Like sometimes it looked really good, especially with Luffy's arm. That looked fairly good. But then other times the green screen was green screening.
Yeah.
It's like you guys. I feel like this production should have been a little bit better. I also don't feel like the costumes necessarily needed to be 100%, lore accurate all the damn time. Especially with the fish people, they looked rough. When you get to the Mater D and the Baratier, he looked good because he's not a character from the manga, as far as I know, and whereas Arlong and his team all looked rough. I'm like, you could have made new fish people. You didn't have to have the same fish people. Like,
I mean, I feel like they did cool. I mean, the one with the big lips was rough. I ain't gonna hold you on that one. But
yeah.
I feel like Arlong and the other dude that Sanji beat, like, they were fine. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
I felt like they looked exactly like their anime counterparts. I'm like, hey, you don't need to. You can be your own dude. Like, especially since the big dude did not use any of his stingray abilities. So I'm like, you don't need to just be a stingray dude. You could be your own man. And he very much wasn't. Arlong wasn't. Arlong was written really well and acted very well. He didn't look very good, at least not in my opinion.
What's his name was cool though. The dude, the leader of the Black Cat Pirates.
Yeah, he looked great. They handled him really well.
Yeah.
Kuro.
Yeah, Captain Kuro. He was good. I think they were gonna go all in with him, but they sure did.
They sure as hell did, and I liked that it was a big fight in the mansion this time instead of on a stupid hill.
Yeah.
So, like, even locking it down made it a little bit more interesting and a little bit different. That was fun. There was also some, like, one of my complaints is that I kind of wish I had a little bit more. As far as, like, I wish there was one more episode for Arlong and one more episode for the Baratier. Because I wanted more of the interactions between Arlong and Nami, and Arlong and Nami's history, and not just, bing bang boom, we're gonna fight you and you're gonna be done. There was also the
same thing.
right. It felt like it was over too quick. Like they built it up, and two, even in the anime, like there's a certain amount of build up. You know that betrayal is coming. And then she just she has to basically regain they have to regain her trust, and she has to help them. And there really just kind of wasn't that this time around.
It was a whole fight. They were like the octopus dude wasn't even there. The master swordsman, the octopus dude that Zoro fought wasn't there.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but Hachi comes back, so. For them to not include Hachi at all, I'm like, okay, I guess there's certain characters who don't matter for some reason, even though Hachi's great, and I think most of us like him. But maybe the idea is since Hachi's a villain the first time and he's a good guy every appearance after that, they're like, hey, maybe let's not introduce him as a villain. Let's just introduce him as a good guy later. So maybe that was their plan. That's the only thing I can think of. He's not important, so me saying that.
Because I'm thinking like all those fights, like because Zoro didn't even do like the 3-sword thing a lot, and then we also didn't get the fight between Sanji and like the Star, but not the real fight with him trying to do like the water shit, and that was a huge problem.
Yeah.
And then Luffy just getting clapped by Arlong the first time he fought him.
Yeah.
And I reviewed Carl talking about how like I was wondering how they're gonna do the whole shit where how they like stretched his head out the water so he could breathe.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that too. I kind of wanted to see, you know, that whole like camaraderie between the village helping them, because you had the village leader like pumping Luffy's chest while trying to, you know, resuscitate him, and Nami's sister is holding his head while that whole thing was happening, and that could have been a nice bit of tension. And even if they had done it at the Baratier, because that's kind of what they did by having him sink to the bottom, I felt like they were trying to recreate that to an extent, but they still didn't do it exactly. So that wasn't great. But I felt like the actors that they got to be Zeph and Sanji were so good and worked so well that I was like, why is there less of this? There needs to be more of this, not less. I want more of these two together.
Oh yeah,
the chef, the main chef dude.
Yeah.
Like that whole interaction didn't mean anything to me in the anime or the manga, but watching it in the anime, I felt for them. I felt their whole relationship, their whole friendship, and him being a surrogate father for him over the years. And like you absolutely felt it, even with stuff like them bitching about, oh, you're a waiter now. You know, I never told you that you could do this. Like even that wasn't a problem in the live action, which was kind of weird. Like, oh, you fed him. Because that was a big deal in the manga too, wasn't it? Like you're not supposed to just give him a free meal. Yeah,
you don't give him a free meal, but Sanji was like, you know, I can't let someone not eat.
Yeah.
OG Sanji voice. Here's your lead.
I also like that they dialed back the horny on Sanji. He's still smarmy, but he's not he's not. He's somehow better than Brock from Pokemon. Like we dialed the bar down quite a bit.
I enjoyed that. I only like changed that. I was like, I don't know why you changed that, but whatever. Oh yeah, Buggy was great, but
Buggy was great.
The change that I was like, I don't know why they did that was in the village, how they changed it to like in the anime. Like, they knew Nami was working with Arlong to eventually buy back their village. But in the live action, they're just like, they didn't know.
Yeah, maybe that was just to build some kind of tension.
I feel like it hit harder when they knew, because, like, the whole time, because that means, like, the reason it hit harder for me is because, like, now it's just like, oh, yeah, we hated you, we really did hate you, but now we understand. But the other time is like, we pretended we hated you, but actually, in all actuality, we loved you this entire time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, her changing her tattoo, they didn't explain at all, which was...
Oh, the pinwheel?
Yeah, they show the pinwheel, they changed the pinwheel, and I was fine with that, but they still never explained it. And, like, I do like their version of the pinwheel. I like the version better in the anime, because it incorporated more people. It wasn't just Belmare. It was Belmare and the leader of the village. So it meant a little bit more.
I think the pinwheel was kind of explained a lot, because didn't she put like a pinwheel at her mom's like grave? Like she made one with like leaves and shit.
Yes, but if you don't know that tattoo's a pinwheel,
Oh yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
look like
yeah.
a
No, it
pinwheel.
doesn't. It does. Yeah, you're right. It don't look like a pinhole.
Like in manga, live action doesn't matter. That doesn't look like a pinwheel until somebody explains it. So
Hopefully, yeah, maybe they'll drop it in like the first episode of season 2 because we are getting a season 2.
yeah, after the writer's strike ends.
Yeah, yeah. Which also makes me think of like I wonder what they're going to cut out of the Grand Line stuff because like the island where they fight for the dragons, they can really cut that island out really because
Dragons.
yeah, there's a whole thing where like the dude wants Dragonite or whatever and he's like it's one of the Navy dudes wants Dragonite or whatever and he knows
That
you.
might be filler.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it's probably filler. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure because they did introduce a motherfucker who, like, the first time they fought the dude who ate the sickle fruit was in that chapter.
Hmm.
Who cut niggas with wind. Like he was in that chapter in that filler episode basically. And I feel like if you're fighting a devil fruit user, is not filler.
I'm curious too. I mean, I got to be honest. I don't remember what happens. I don't remember what happens between Reverse Mountain and Whiskey Peak. So if there is anything that's canon, I've already wiped it from my brain. But in my head, it goes Whiskey Peak, or it goes Reverse Mountain, then Whiskey Peak. So I don't know if anything that you're mentioning is even canon.
I know one island they can't do. They can't pass the island with the two giants and the dude who ate the wax fruit.
So you're right, except that it's important. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with that shit. Like, is it as an island? It's not important, but the shit with Dorian Bragi is it's important to Usopp. And it actually becomes important later on without going into spoilers because that whole thing happened and because that whole thing happens for Usopp, it actually helps him out later. And so if you don't have some kind of interaction with giants, you're fucking up the flow of the story. So I don't know what they're going to how they're going to cut that out. He has to meet if you want to and also the guy with the wax fruit, the member of Baroque Works, whose name I'm completely forgetting right now.
Yeah.
I think it's Mr. 5. Yeah, because he's got the 5 on his head.
Yeah.
That villain, while not like hella important, like that's basically the only time he's a major part of the story. He does come up a few more times, and he's kind of a fun side character to have. Not entirely necessary. You could get rid of him. But I don't feel like cutting down on Baroque Works as a whole is a smart idea.
Oh, they're not. Because the whole, first episode, Zoro fought someone from Baroque Works.
Yep.
They dropped him super early on.
By the way, that's canon. I don't remember if that was something that they either mention it in the anime and they don't show it.
Mention it in the show.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought it was something from, Oda's notes that he just mentions half-handedly, but yeah.
Mentions but doesn't show because Zoro mentions it when they go to that island that has, a bunch of people from Baroque Works there. They're under...
That's Whiskey Peak.
He was just like, hey, I've dealt with Baroque Works before. They tried to either kill him or recruit him, or he basically just talks about it, and finally got to see it.
Yeah. So cutting down on that seems like kind of a weird idea to me. Getting rid of Mr. 5. Especially if they go ham on the whole Alabasta stuff, because the whole journey to Alabasta, they encounter a couple of them.
Yeah.
And those, I feel like, are less important than Mr. 5, personally. They're not, but they kind of are.
It could probably end... I feel like the next season, if they want to get it cool. Like it should end with them actually going like they see Alabasta, like hey, we're at Alabasta credits. That's where it
Yes.
should end.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually completely agree. And that doesn't sound like a lot of progression. You know, making season 3
Yeah.
entirely Alabasta doesn't seem very big, admittedly, but you kind of, you know, what the hell else are we supposed to do? Because it's unless you really
Like
condense
Ace was introduced
everything.
there too. Well, Ace was
Yeah.
introduced in Alabasta, wasn't it? In
Yep.
Alabasta.
He's at like
Yeah.
a bar at first,
Yeah, he's at a bar in Alabasta looking for Luffy.
But like, if you could condense everything from Logtown to Alabasta, I don't want them to.
They can stretch out. Like honestly, I feel like you can get probably 2 episodes out of like the first place they go to on their way to the Grand Line, where they meet Smoker and Zoro meets the chick that like
yeah, Logtown. That's Logtown.
See, I don't know the names of these places, but yeah, you can kind of expand that. That could be like 2 episodes by itself.
It could be, and there's some filler that I actually think should be made canon, because there's the dude that that Usopp encounters in the anime. It's all anime only, who is connected to Yasop, and since you've already made the big connection between Yasop and Usopp, I think it's probably a good idea to include that there too. How the fuck? All right.
I hope they
How are
completely
they
get rid of the Zoro Luffy fight. I could live without that.
Yeah, I could live without that too. It doesn't. It's not important. Okay. It's good. It's good because they accidentally take care of Baroque Works in that fight. They each just end up fucking them up, but at the same time, it's not absolutely necessary. Yeah, what do you do? Like, how are they going to do Laboon? And don't tell me that they don't do Laboon. If they don't do Laboon, I riot. I don't
Which
fucking.
one is Laboon?
The whale, the whale with the fucked up nose. How do you?
They might not do him, bro.
Nope. If they look. I'll tell you what. If they don't do Laboon, then that means they won't do the Giants, and that means that they've completely fucked up.
Laboon come back?
Yes, Laboon is important.
I didn't know Laboon was important.
Laboon is he's not like important, but you know how every character has a goal?
Yeah.
You eventually, one of the members of Luffy's crew met Laboon, and his goal is to get back to Laboon. That is his entire purpose in life now. So, bring that character. If you don't introduce Laboon, how does that character's purpose fucking matter? Is my point.
I mean, they could just like not have Laboon, and then he could. And when that character comes up, it's like, hey, this is Whale. I like.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I don't know. Like they could do that, because the way that I see, I'm thinking about logistically, because because I feel like I forgot about Laboon, because the Giants themselves, I'm like, damn. That CG is going to be either great or terrible. But I forgot about the whole fuck off whale that's eyes bigger than their ship. And I'm like, damn, that CG is going to be good or bad.
How far are you? Like, I need to know what is okay to spoil and what is not okay to spoil.
I mean, I'm at Alabasta.
Oh shit, you have so much more to go.
Yes, I know I have so much more to go.
You barely have a crew.
Yes, I understand. Oh shit! Speaking of barely have a crew, fucking Chopper's not even a part of the crew yet.
Yep. Chopper is okay. So the arc with the Giants is Little Garden. Drum Island is the arc after that. You could condense Chopper down to 2 episodes. I think that would cheapen Chopper a little bit, personally. And maybe not necessarily cheapen him, but like I think you'd have some issues moving Chopper down into a smaller role. How do you do Chopper, by the way? How do you do a fully CG character?
I don't know. I don't know. If this keeps going, it's gonna be wacky and wackier. Because isn't one of them literally? Isn't one of the members of the crew literally just like a skeleton?
Yep. That's
So
Brooke.
yeah, so like it's gonna be wild, bro. I swear.
Yeah, well, and then there's Frankie, who they tell you right out the gate he's a robot, but at first he doesn't look like a robot. He looks like a buff dude, and then later on, the only thing human about him is his upper chest and his head. The rest of him is like fully robotic, and I don't know how they're gonna do Frankie. You can't realistically make Frankie human the entire time. You could, but it just wouldn't work for certain plot reasons. You're like, no. You can't tell me that buff guy is just good enough to break down a door. That doesn't make any fucking sense. How did the buff guy blow up an island? Like, how is that?
I mean, that makes sense. Like, how the fuck does Mihawk cut ships in half? I feel like this is fine.
That's true. That's true.
Which I didn't think they were going to show that in live action. I was like, oh, good. He's not going to. I was like, oh, damn, that's sad. He's not going to cut a ship in half, and then just slink. I was like, oh, shit, they did it, and it was glorious.
They killed. They didn't just fuck up. They killed Don Krieg in that scene.
Yeah, like he didn't even get his like thing. I was like, oh yeah, he's going to go to Island. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, no, they killed him.
That was a fake out too.
They did because they show his bounty and everything.
Yeah.
Do they I don't remember in the anime? Do they mention when they give you Mihawk the first time? Do they mention that he's a warlord?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I for some reason my brain said that they weren't going to explain warlords until sometime after Alabasta. So I was a little surprised when they go, "Oh, he's one of the 7 warlords," and I'm like, "Are you gonna hint at the other 6? Like, are we gonna see some silhouettes? I'm excited."
Like he's one of the warlords of the sea, and all you got is Zoro. Like, I'm gonna beat him, and just God boy got folded.
There's also a great hint when the stupid rat marine, which I'm surprised that they left in.
You needed him. You kind of needed him. Because I'm like, I hated him so much. Like, when he fucking robbed Nami, I'm like, you're on my shit list.
Yeah. He at one point, he basically does the, I have friends that are fish people. He goes, we have a warlord that's a fish, and Arlong breaks the table and he goes, "Jim, don't you fucking talk about Jinbei." And I was like, "Oh shit, we name dropping Jinbei this early? All right, I'm down. let's fucking do this shit." So, they really like the first episode. I felt like was too much fan service because there's a lot of fan service in that first episode.
I wouldn't know. Like I thought it was fine.
I noticed some shit that I shouldn't have noticed. It stood out too much for me. But like, especially when you look at all of the posters, when they show you all the wanted posters, I'm like, oh, literally all of those are characters from later on in the series. None of those are just throwaway jokes. Like, this is all legit. Okay, that's a lot of characters to name drop right now.
Who else was there? Oh yeah, the chick. Because when at the end of the thing, when I think it was Buggy inside a bar, and then
Alvida.
Alvida. When I heard her voice, I was like, "Holy shit! Are we about to see smooth Alvida?" And then it wasn't. I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm curious how they're gonna do it. Are they just gonna completely change the actress?
They might. Does the actress actually look like that?
Yeah.
Oh, they might change it, or they'll do some body positivity thing. I think. Let me double check. I want to say that Alvida can change her body.
I mean, if she can, then where I'm at, she can't. Like, or it hasn't been shown because her whole thing is she ate the smooth fruit, got sexy, and now she like swag glides on people.
I feel like they tell you that she can. It's not something that's ever shown. I feel like it was just something that was like either Otis said offhandedly or some shit. Let me look it up.
That's gonna be weird. And I swear, like, I don't know. I want to see the transformation. So, like, I understand the body positivity thing that you're saying, but like, that's not.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the stuff circulating about Jamie Lee Curtis playing the doctor that trains Chopper?
Yeah.
And
She's been trying to get that to happen for almost a year now. So that will, if they don't do it, I'll be surprised.
I say why not do it? That's a. Didn't she win like a Golden Globe or like a Oscar or some shit too? Like, you're about to have an Oscar-winning actress in your anime live action? Come on now.
She's great for that shit. So yeah, yeah, bring her on. I honestly, as soon as because she posted a Twitter post like a year ago, and when I saw that, I was like, there's no way in fuck they're not gonna capitalize on this. That's the biggest name that I've heard so far for this series. Why would you not take advantage?
Yeah, I can't think of any really big actor. The only other actor that I know that was like quote unquote big, I do know that the dude who played Zorro was part of some sort of like boy band, right?
Was he?
Something like that. I think he's one of those I think he's part of like a boy band.
I didn't know that. Let me look that up.
I think so. Other than that, I know the dude who plays Buggy was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And that's like that's the only face that I recognized was the dude who played like Buggy.
Yeah, no, by the way, I loved the actor who played Buggy. He was great.
Oh, yeah, he's great in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. They did Buggy they made Buggy a fucking menace in the live action.
Yeah, no, Buggy was great. It looks like he's done a lot of like. He was in the Chihayafuru live action, and he was in the JoJo live action, and he was in the Tokyo Ghoul live action, and he was in the Rurouni Genshin live action, and he was in the Knights of the Zodiac live action.
The new one?
Yes. Yeah, apparently he's just done a ton of live action anime.
Jesus.
Oh my god! Like, and it even like just looking at the order. Oh, Chihayafuru. Okay. JoJo. Oh, okay. Tokyo Ghoul. Okay. Rurouni Kenshin. Okay. Knights of the Zodiac. All right. One Piece. Like, damn.
My bro loves anime. Like, Jesus Christ.
Apparent fucking Lee. Holy shit.
And they all do, like, in all the interviews you see of them doing, like, they all are, like, were fans of, like, One Piece before
especially the main guy who played Luffy. He has been so like on board, and like even if you told me that he didn't know a thing about One Piece beforehand, right? Mm-hmm. He has had the right spirit about it. He has just so embodied that character, even in interviews and in behind the scenes videos, and he feels very genuine about it. He feels like this is what he wants, and I'm like, cool, you're dope. I can get behind you. I hope your show is good. Turns out it was.
It was.
He, like, honestly, he was a lot of fun. Like, when the first live action behind the scenes dropped, and they showed that the Paratier was a real fucking set and not not a green screen. Yeah. And he's like showing off this actual set. I was blown away. I was like, dude, and like his energy.
Those are sets.
Those are sets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his energy was just so infectious to watch that it was like, please let this be good, because somebody who has this much energy doesn't feel fair for him to get something like this, only for it to fail. You know, it feels like you finally have the right person. Please let this work. And as far as I'm concerned, the acting and the writing was great. Special effects could use some love, but that's a personal nitpick.
Yeah,
I love
special effects is personal because people talk shit about She-Hulk special effects, and I thought She-Hulk special effects were fine.
I mean, this show especially, like, I loved that the characters, they didn't necessarily wear their typical clothes from the manga and anime, but if they weren't wearing those clothes, they were wearing clothes that the characters wore in the covers for the manga. So everything was technically accurate to the manga, but not everything was technically accurate to, like, the canon, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was fine with the outfits that they wore. I was waiting for Nami to wear like that one outfit I'm used to seeing her wear. Like, oh, like there it is, there's the shirt. It's like, oh, okay, they did it, yay. But I just like I think, I mean, I feel like the best looking one, like the one that's like, because they do like fucking interviews and shit together all the time, and the main one that just still looks like his character no matter what he does.
You say Sanji?
Nah,
Usopp.
Because Sanji, like, he looks familiar because that's a wig. So, like, his hair is shorter, the clothes are different. Like, the dude who played Usopp, like, literally, it's just, I took off the bandana and he clocked out. Like, that's literally what he looks like. He just took off the, like, bandana he has over his head and just clocked out. He's like, oh, you on there acting you're not going to change? No, this is the fit. I'm going to the mall.
We go pick up shotties.
Yeah, just like this.
He was also a great caster. He felt like Usopp to me, and I kind of dug that he didn't become completely honest yet, because by that point, Arlong arc in the anime and the manga is a pretty big turning point for him. That's basically when he stops being a liar. But it was so quick in the live action that I felt like they were like, no, let's have this be a moment later on and not here, because right now it doesn't feel earned. So
yeah, it definitely isn't. And they got rid of the kids, though. Like, I don't know why they got rid of the kids. I don't know why they got rid of them.
What kids?
Like, his crew. Don't you remember on the island he had a crew of, like, 3 kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of the kids. And I was like, oh, why'd they get rid of the kids, though? But I did like the whole, like, I did like the twist thing, what they did with the cat dude. How, like, because in the anime it was like, oh, he was just waiting and then he gave his crew the signal and they were going to just rob these, like, nice rich people. And now instead it was like, oh, I got like 2 of them. We already infiltrated. Like, we here. We're just going to rob them and, like, leave. So I thought that was cool. That was I don't know. I felt like that was better because it was like it was a better set because, like you said, the other place was just a fucking hill. A cooler place to fight. More things you could do with, like, lighting and stuff like that, and also, like, it's probably a lot of, like, because chances are if they were going to do the fight on the hill, they probably were just going to do a fight on a hill. Then all that stuff with all those people and then, like, the ships and him massacring all his men and shit like that too. Like, that's money right there. So it's like, this is like, it's cheaper, yeah, but it feels like more meaningful.
Oh. I forgot. So they only gave you 2 of his members, right, Kuro?
2. Yeah.
I forgot that the dude Django actually, like, I forget that he's a reoccurring character. He's not that important.
The hypnotist?
Yeah, the hypnotist.
Oh, I didn't know he was reoccurring.
Apparently he becomes a Marine. I forgot that.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
He's not important wherever it is he shows up. He's not important.
Oh, okay. Because I remember because they had the dude that was like a problem, but he only became a problem when Django fucking, like, hypnotized him.
Oh, you talking about Bucci, the fat guy?
yeah, because that's basically who that was. Like, in the mansion, like, the fat dude was fucking Bucci.
Yeah.
Except he was just not hypnotized, so Zoro just waxed him.
Yeah. Yeah, he basically just dressed up because he was a fucking dork. Like that's the only reason that he looked like that in the anime or in the live action. So
it was all cat themed. It was all cat themed because the chick put on like a little cat costume too.
She just put on like ears though.
I mean, counts. I mean, participation trophy. There's nothing cat on like the Kuro besides like his sword claws. That's barely even cat. It's more Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, I don't. So I get that they like let him live in the live action because they let him live in the anime or yeah, but I don't think Kuro comes back at all. I think like I know that he comes back in like sideways flashes. They show you him like reacting to every time that they get new bounties. Like like basically everybody comes back for that though. Like that's not a surprise. Whenever it's time for new bounties to pop up in the anime, everybody comes back. So not really surprising, but I don't think he came back in the story at all. So why bring him?
Good fight.
I guess he's just not important.
He's not important, but like it was a good fight. Like I did like how like in the wall when they were in the walls and shit, and it was giving like very tense thriller vibes, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, especially when he's like punching through the wall and whatnot.
Yeah, when he's like slicing through the walls and shit, like it was all like the tone changed, and it wasn't like an outrageous change, like oh this is unbelievable. Like no, like I'm pretty sure whoever knew nothing about One Piece when he just got the claws and just killed like the goat dude, it was like what the fuck, this man's off his rocker.
Yeah.
Oh man, all good. Even if you're not a fan of One Piece, we'd recommend that you watch it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing to me. I'm more the people I see that are reviewing it. I feel like they're doing the same thing. That's like I see with like Final Fantasy VII. People play Final Fantasy VII remake and they're like, "Yo, this is only just Midgar. I want to play like the PS1 game because I want more." And so it's really ushering people in to the anime.
It really has. I work with a guy who has not watched the anime, has not read the manga. Him and his wife don't really fuck with anime. They loved it so much that they are now in Alabasta in the anime.
There you go.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. It is helping move that forward.
This is what happens when you have the creators. Or the creator Oda he was there for the whole time. That's why like people have their fingers crossed about the Avatar one because the creator's Avatar was supposed to be like heavily involved in that too. From what I hear, what's up?
Let's see. The creator of Cowboy Bebop was involved with that one too.
The Cowboy Bebop one, I didn't hear it was terrible. Some people were like, I didn't like it. But I heard plenty of people that said they did like it. I haven't watched it yet, but we know all around bad. Like I didn't watch the Full Metal Alchemist one because like this looks bad.
I mean, yeah, dude, I'm always surprised at how many live actions are on Netflix. Like when you start like poking around, you're like, oh, there's like Zom 100. Zom 100 the anime is coming out weekly on Netflix, but the live action has been out on Netflix. I'm like, oh, this is weird. This is like, but you talk about the Full Metal Alchemist one. That's one that I've heard people explain why it's bad, and that it just basically doesn't make sense because they cut so much stuff out, and. I don't like Full Metal Alchemist anyway, so I'm never gonna fuck with it.
Wait, why don't you like Full Metal Alchemist? It's one of
I have tried. I've read the first volume. Literally, I've read the first volume of the manga twice. I've watched the first 4 episodes 3 times each, for various reasons. I cannot get started in that shit. It is just, it does not, I don't enjoy it. I'm just going to put it that way. Like, it feels like a slog. I don't enjoy the characters. I don't care about their conflict. I don't really care about what's going on. I don't care about the setting. It's just not for me. And then the reason I've done it 3 times is because someone will go, okay, no, you got to give it another. You tried it in high school. Don't like, you read the manga in high school. You should watch the anime now. You should give it a chance. Well, do you want me to watch the regular? Or do you want me to watch Brotherhood? I want you to watch the regular. Like, the regular's really good. And then it's like, oh, all right, fine. Everybody says that Brotherhood's better, but if you are telling me to do it for the sake of us being able to have a conversation, I'll watch the original. And I get through the first 4 episodes and I go, fuck. All right. And then I remember when SourceFed did Anime Club, I watched the first 4 episodes there, and I hated it. And then I watched it again because another friend, I thought it was you, but based on the fact that you're confused means it probably wasn't you, did it again, and they were like, you should really watch Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm like, but I've tried, I don't enjoy it. Well, you should try it again. It's been a few years, and it's like, fuck, all right, here we go again.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, I mean, you would like it because Full Metal Alchemist is good, and like, and to me, it has one of the best like scenes in anime period in Brotherhood, and well, then again, like I've never, like me and Ed were talking about it, I never watched Ouran Host Club. Every time I try watching it, I'm like, nah, I'm just not into this.
Yeah, well, especially if you're not into that kind of slice of life, I could definitely see that not being your cup of tea.
I am into that kind of slice of life. I don't know, it's just something I just can't get into it. And the thing about it, like I always give animes I don't like another try, because like most animes I watched, when I watched the first few episodes, I didn't like it. Like there's very few anime where it's like, oh, I like this from jump, like Dragon Ball Z or like Inuyasha. Whatever I saw, it had me hooked or at least intrigued in the first episode. Angel Beats did not have me intrigued in the first episode, and that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Clannad didn't. The Elfin Lied didn't. Cowboy Bebop really didn't either. Neither did Trigun.
Fate Zero is in my top. Somewhere in my top 10. I will go to bat and say that the first episode of Fate Zero is one of the worst episodes of television in all of history. I give that show a 9 out of 10. They're like, what? You don't think it's a 10 out of 10? Like, you're the Fate guy. You don't think it's a 10 out of 10? No, I give it a 9 out of 10 because of the first episode. It would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for the first fucking episode. That episode is so bad. They sit there and just exposit fucking dialogue to you for 45 minutes because it's an extra long episode, and they go, oh, let's explain the Holy Grail War, blah blah blah, and I'm like, fuck, I'm so bored. Why is this? And then all of a sudden, like, 2 characters will circle another dude, and they're both like swirling their wine, and it looks so fucking artistic, and it's like, please stop, this is lame, this isn't cool, you're not being cool, please stop. Fuck. I hate the first episode of Fate Zero so much.
Yeah, sometimes first episodes get you, and then sometimes you get the opposite, where the first episodes get you, but the payoff was 100% not worth it.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's like the worst, because you're just like, oh man, yeah, wait, hold on. Like that's how I feel about, I don't know, I feel like, honestly, I don't know, like, from what everyone told me about Quincy, it's not called Dot Hack. Sword Art Online. When they told me about Sword Art Online, circling back to Dot Hack, I've never really watched Dot Hack or played Dot Hack like that, but I have very fond memories of it, which is really fucking weird.
Really? That is weird.
It's really fucking weird. But Sword Art Online, like, apparently, after they went to that fairy magical world, after the first, thing was done, they were like, yeah, it just kind of gets bad from there. Because I thought it was, done. I was like, oh, they got out, yeah, there's a new world, okay, I really don't like what's happening now.
Here, I will say, so that there are people, going back to the discussion that you and Ed started with, There are people who will tell you that Sword Art Online is the worst thing ever. Oh my god,
yeah,
Sword Art
I've
Online.
heard that plenty of times.
Personally, I don't like Sword Art Online, but I will say, and because
The abuse is hilarious.
what I've seen of Sword Art Online going forward, each arc is thematically very, very different, and
Yes.
it is. If you don't like it, that's fine, but there should be a certain expectation when you go into Sword Art Online that they will all feel so fucking distinct that there is a good chance that one of those arcs will turn you off. You should just be aware of that up front. Also, regardless of whether or not you've seen Sword Art Online, regardless of whether or not you've seen the gun stuff, I highly recommend you watch the Gun spin-off anime. That's fun. It's only one season. It's you do not need to know anything about Sword Art Online in order to watch it. It's just stupid fun. I love it. It also has the weird problem of a girl is too tall and she has big boobs, so she intentionally becomes a lolly character, like, which I think is fucking funny. She's like, I don't want to relate to this anymore, so she nerfs herself in game, which I think is fucking hilarious. All of the characters in that show are great. I love the spinoff. I'm not nearly as big a fan of Sword Art as my brother is, but yeah, I highly recommend the spinoff.
Didn't even know the spinoff even existed.
Yeah, I think it's just called Gun Gale Online, which is nice and confusing because the second season of the show is called Gun Gale Online.
Beautiful. I like it. The confusion. Picasso, confused. I like it.
So you've been really quiet, Ed. I feel
That's
like
what I was literally about to say. I was like, yeah, speaking of Picasso, I like it. Where's Ed been?
I've been here. I've been here the whole time.
I mean, we left One Piece. Like, we were talking about other stuff.
Yeah, no, I was sitting here listening to you guys. I didn't really have anything to add, so I was just letting you guys talk.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about anime? This is like the most we've talked about anime on this podcast ever.
I mean, there's not.
Did
really
you
much
not
for me to
watch?
say.
Did you not watch Full Metal Alchemist?
I have not seen Full Metal Alchemist at all.
Oh shit!
Do you not like it, or you just have not seen it?
I just haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, you watch Brotherhood, and then you go ahead and watch the greatest piece in anime history of Colonel Mustang killing Lust.
I mean, I've seen all of that stuff, so.
No. Yes, you've seen it, but you got to get the build up. Like, the reason why he wants Lust dead, like, just the whole thing. Like, I was like, the whole time I was standing up watching that scene. Kill that bitch! Burn that bitch!
That sounds like you were invested.
Yes.
Sounds like you were very, very invested.
Yes. It's nice. And I wish I can't say I wish because it probably already happened and I probably was just a manga that didn't do well, so I probably didn't see it. But I would really like, if it exists, because the way that it ends is like, the whole reason that Ed and Al, Ed can fucking use alchemy and by clapping his hands is because he saw the truth. And at the end of like the anime, eventually other people see the truth. And one thing that sucked about Colonel Mustang was like he needed his glove to use his alchemy, and if he got wet, he couldn't use his alchemy. So like eventually Colonel Mustang sees the truth. And now he like can do the whole do alchemy thing. And I'm like, I need to see that. I want episodes of that. I'd watch that.
I don't know if there were any spin-offs. I'll look it up.
Yeah, because it was Colonel Mustang and Scar who was like the terrorist of it, but he was just like how usually terrorists are just misguided extremists. Eventually they reel him in and he becomes like a cool guy. So, and it's all about Mustang and Scar. And I'm just like, the fact that they're mobbing together is already good character development, because Scar hates the military, and the military has very skewed views on what happened in Ishbala. So, I'd love to see that shit. I think the main thing that sucked was like when you see the truth, you lose something. And I was like, Colonel Mustang, he saw the truth. He's good now. He can use fire out without his glove. And then he's just like, Mines, what do you mean he's blind? I was so
That
fucked
sucks.
up. I was so fucked up. He got the biggest like buff and also the worst nerf. But yeah, it's good, and also you don't have to worry about getting into something that never ends. Like there's an ending to Full Metal.
Yeah.
It's right there, right
It's
there.
right there.
Get to it, and you'll be like, "Dang!" And now you're done. You're finished. It's over. I like animes like that. You know,
I like.
sometimes I just want to animate. Yeah, I like animes that just ends. You know what I'm saying? Like Death Note. It's just over. I can go home now. It's over.
Death Note was good.
I don't
enjoyed
need
Death
something
Note.
that'll like see, I don't need something that never ends. I mean sometimes it's good. Like you get something like One Piece, which is like, everyone calls it the GOAT. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But not every anime needs to try to be One Piece. Like,
I mean, yeah, think about it. Think about all the long ones and think about how often they get called the GOAT. One Piece is an outlier. Naruto doesn't get called the GOAT by damn
Some
near
people-
anybody.
some people do call Naruto the GOAT. Right? But
Really?
some motherfuckers in RDC consider Naruto the GOAT.
Ironically, or for like unironically, or for the
no,
bit.
unironically, they think Naruto, and I've met other people who like this does not lessen their opinion, but I've met a few girls that are like Naruto's better. They like Naruto more than One Piece.
Is it okay? So
I like Naruto better than One Piece. So
okay, but you watch a lot of anime. Would you call Naruto the GOAT?
I really enjoyed it. I'd say it's really good. It's like really great
Well,
in my opinion.
We're not debating whether or not it's good. I think it's good too. But would you
Yeah,
call it the GOAT?
Well, it
I
was-
honestly, I don't know what anime I would call the GOAT if you
I
asked
mean,
me.
yeah, like
There's just
I don't
anime that
really,
I thoroughly enjoy.
yeah, I don't really have anything that I would label as the GOAT because I don't know how to really define something being the GOAT.
Your personal favorite anime. That's all
Mine would be Angel Beats, and I don't
Okay.
know if anyone else considers that the GOAT.
Well, that's all I care about. What is your favorite anime? To me, that is your GOAT. It doesn't mean that it's because
Like the GOAT.
We talked about opinions. Because of opinions, there is no objective GOAT. That's not possible. What is your GOAT? In Quincy's case, it's Angel Beats. In my case, it's School Rumble. I'm not saying what do you think is the most ungodly and oh my god, this will change your life if you watch it. And there's no right or there's no, it's no debate. It'll absolutely happen. No. What is your favorite anime?
Oh, well, then yeah, I have multiple of those. So like,
Okay.
and,
Which
like,
one
yeah,
is
and,
the
like,
outlier that's like the top?
Oh, I don't really have anything.
Oh, okay. All right.
Man, that's cool. Because I know
Alright.
that me, myself, I don't consider, because maybe some people, there are some people who are mostly girls as well, that I've heard they say Inuyasha's the GOAT.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and I think that isn't as surprising for me personally. Whenever I hear that,
Inuyasha is great. I don't hold them. I'm not like, you're stupid. I'm like, you know what? I've fallen asleep to Inuyasha plenty of times. Not in a bad way because it's boring, but because, don't swim. It's late. So it's, Inuyasha's good. I'm not going to hold you. Voice acting's good. Animation was good, I'm not going to hold you. Inuyasha's a good anime.
yeah.
But games are not bad either. Well, I only played like 2. Don't quote me. Chippo's bullshit. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm trying to think. What's like?
It's like, motherfucker, what do you mean my Tetsaiga swings over your head?
I've run into people that call Bleach the GOAT,
Ooh.
and that's
Ooh.
one that hurts my soul. I get, I know,
Soul, I see what you're doing.
I know we all, you know, there's no such thing as a wrong opinion, but fuck does Bleach have some issues? Bleach has so many fucking problems, and I have a hard time talking to people about it because there's so many people that just, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that Bleach could be bad. They don't want to hear that Bleach was bad for, like, commonly agreed upon that Bleach was bad up until a couple years ago. When the creator is trying to end his own life because of it, I feel like that should tell you it's objectively fucking bad, but that doesn't mean a whole lot to a lot of people.
You told me that. It's because they wanted him to make more and more. Like, sometimes shit can just end. Like, just let shit
And then
end.
they didn't just want him to make more and more and more. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, because possibly nobody can corroborate this. Allegedly, because of declining sales, they wanted him to end it in 3 weeks. They wanted him to end his final arc in 3 fucking weeks, and he hated it. He hated what he came up with, and fucking, like, come on, don't fucking tell me that this is, like, is it possible if you are only watching the current season of the anime you may think it's the best? Go ahead, pop off, but don't tell me that it's always been amazing, especially these people who only read the manga.
Hey guys, Ed and Quincy here. Sorry that the podcast got cut off and everything. I don't know what happened. We were recording and then it just decided to go kablooey. So we lost about 45 minutes of footage.
It's a lot of footage.
It is a lot of footage. It kind of sucks. You know, you cut off right when you guys were hearing Derek get ready to rev up and start ranting about Bleach. But I don't know, we couldn't find the footage. It was nowhere to be downloaded or found. It was just corrupted. So that's where it cut off at. We're sorry. We decided to still put out the podcast and everything. And, you know, give you guys something for Saturday. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We're sorry. And hopefully this doesn't happen again. So on that note, we'll see you guys later. Say bye, Quincy.
Big jiggly black kitties.
I knew it.